Okay, so this is our park practice day. So what I'm going to do on these videos is this video is I'm just going to get you started on each problem. You're going to be in charge of finishing it and using the first part to help you get the answer. So a solution for each equation is given. That's these down here, a equals a equals a equals. Identify the letter of the equation that satisfies the polynomial. Okay, so I need to decide, does a equal 1 work for a or b? Does a equal 0 work for a or b? Does a equal -1 work for a or b? And what I want to do first is I just want to simplify this. So I can't simplify the left side, but I can distribute. So it's going to become -4x plus 20 plus a. There we go. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this side. Can't distribute or can't do anything with the left-hand side, but I can make this side simplify. So 4x minus 20 plus a plus 1. Now I can do it even more. 4x minus 19 plus a. I got 19 by doing -20 plus 1. Now what you're going to do, and this is where I'm going to leave you with the problem, you're going to substitute 1 in for a on this side and see if you get the same thing if you plugged a in on this side. Then check it for 0. Plug 0 in. See if you get what's left. Now you're not just going to get a number. You're going to get an expression. So the expressions need to be equal. My hint is 1 will be a, 1 will be b, and 1 will be none. So that's how you answer that problem. Okay, the second question. Always read it first. Let's see what we can decide. Which expression is equivalent to 162x to the fourth minus 144x squared plus 32? Select all that apply. I'm going to give you a hint here. There are 2 answers. Okay, so out of all of these, there's just 2. That's my hint. Now, to get you started, we have 162x to the fourth, 144 x squared plus 32. So I can't take any x's out because there's no x. So I need to take out my GCF first. And GCF is not going to involve any x's. It's only going to involve a number. So I have to think about what number I can divide 162, 144, and 32 by. Now here's where the answer choices are going to help you out. They all took out a 2. So we're going to take out a 2. So 162 divided by 2 is 81. X to the fourth minus 72 x squared plus 16. And again, all I did was take each number and I divided it by 2. The x's stay the same because I can't take any x's out because the last one doesn't have it. The last term doesn't have an x. So this already gives me one that's not an answer. Look at a. A has just one parenthesis and it's x squared and x. Well, that's not what I have, so I'm going to tell you a is not one of your 2 choices. So see what you can do. This part right here is very similar to a question on your warm-up number 2. Okay. All right, here's number 3. It says write the expression j to the fourth minus 16 plus the quantity j squared minus 14 squared without parentheses and with all like terms combined. Okay, so the first thing that I see is this parenthesis and we need to get rid of it. Remember what the squared means. It doesn't mean just square each part. It means we have to write it twice. Whoa. J squared minus 4, j squared minus 4, and then I'm going to distribute. So I'm going to get you started with that, and I'm just going to FOIL. So I'm going to have j to the fourth minus 4 j squared minus 4 j squared, and then -4 times -4 is plus 16. And then I still need to bring down these 2 parts. So I'm going to have j to the fourth minus 16, and then you need to simplify. Okay, number 4, which expression is equivalent to the expression you just solved? So you should have an answer from up above, and you need to figure out which one of these expressions is another way to write your answer that you just found. And I'm going to tell you, there's 3 choices. Okay, so 3 choices. Use your simplified answer from number 3 to answer these 3. Think about number 2 of your warm-up, because that'll really help you with this one. Okay, number 5. What value of m is the equation true? What value of m is, I think, makes the equation true? All right, my left side is completely simplified, x squared plus 10x plus 11. And now we're going to do our right side. You almost treat this like 2 separate problems. I have this problem over here. Let me simplify this side and see what I need. So, to do that, we still have our m plus, and remember what the squared means, not square each part. You need to FOIL. So we're going to do a little sidebar over here. We're going to do x plus 5 times x plus 5. And we need to FOIL. And you're going to write that answer in there, and you're also going to have the minus 25 at the end. And then you need to figure out what m is going to be. Again, FOIL first. All right, now we're on the back, number 6. Number 6 kind of takes us back to a different quadratic unit that we did, so I've decided to put it in here anyway. It says, which equation has 2 non-real solutions? Okay. To decide if something has a non-real solution, you need to use the discriminant, which is b squared minus 4ac. The PARCC test does give you this formula, but you have to just know when to use it. Now the other part is, we have all this in quadratic form or standard form, so my a equals 2, my b equals 4, and my c equals negative 12 for that one. Now look at this one. This one doesn't equal 0, so we need to move this stuff over. I'm going to minus 4x, and I'm going to minus 12 from both sides. So it's going to become 2x squared minus 4x minus 1x, because 3 minus 4 is 1, and then I still have that negative 12 hanging out. And again, your a equals 2, your b equals negative 1, and your c equals 12. Nothing to simplify for c, so a equals 2, b equals 4, c equals 12, and then for d, a equals 2, b equals 4, c equals 0. Now what you need to do is you need to substitute it into our formula up here, and if you get a negative answer, then it's non-real solutions. So you're looking for which one is negative, and there's only one. So you got to try them all. All right, 7. 7 is a fun one. It is a grouping problem. Just like number 3 on your warm-up, you need to group these together. So we always group the first 2, and then the next 2. Now again, how did I know it was grouping right off the bat? There's 4 different parts. I can't take out anything of each part, because this one has A's and X's, this one has C's and X's, A's and Y's, C's and Y's. Okay, so we need to take out what it has in common. I'm just going to get it started, and you're going to have to finish it. So if I look at my first group, I have ax squared, or a squared x squared minus 2c x squared. Well, the only thing it has in common is x squared. If I take out an x squared, what do I have left? I have a squared. I'm going to do a minus sign because that's what the problem is. I didn't take out a 2. I still have that c, and I took out x squared. So you need to try this next one. It's going to be, you're adding something. So see what you can take out, see what it has in common, and then make sure you see what's left. And then your final answer, again, will just look like all these answers, where the outsides, the ones that aren't in parentheses, your first parenthesis, and then your 2 parentheses should be the same, so they go right here. Okay, 8 and 9 go together, and again, it's another grouping problem. So consider the expression 6x to the third minus 5x squared y minus 24xy squared plus 20y to the third. So which expression is equivalent? Well, if you look at it, we need to do grouping again. So if I look at my first one, 5 and 6, or 6 and 5 have nothing in common, so I can't take any of that out. But I have x to the third, x squared, so I can take out x squared. And then you figure out what's left. Then my other one, I'm going to take out a minus sign. 24 and 20, well, the biggest number they have in common is 4. And I have y squared and y to the third, so y squared is the highest I can take out. You figure out what's left, and it'll give you one of these answers. Now, number 9, it says which expressions are factors of this? Factors are simply your parenthesis parts, okay? Afterwards, you're going to be able to break these apart into actually 3 different factors. Okay, so this is going to have 3 answers. And then you'll be done. Number 10, consider the polynomial function f of x equals the quantity 2x minus 1, x plus 4, x minus 2. What is the y-intercept of the graph in the xy coordinate plane? So y-intercept, when it's the y-intercept, that means that x equals 0. So that means I can substitute 0 in for my x's and solve. So I'm going to have 2 times 0 minus 1, and then 0 plus 4, and then 0 minus 2. I'll give you a hint, it's not 0 as your answer. So you're going to solve this. This is actually a non-calculator problem, so see if you can do it without using a calculator and come up with the answer. Alright, last one. What are the solutions to the equation 2x squared minus x plus 1 equals 0? Great. Solutions. If I look at this, this is actually unfactorable. So there's a couple different options here. We could graph it, or we could use the quadratic formula. So I'm going to give you the quadratic formula, remind you of that, and they give you this formula as well. Negative b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Okay, and so we need to do our a, b, and c. A is 2, b is negative 1, and c is 1. So you need to substitute these numbers in, and then you need to figure out what the answer is. Again, it's going to have 2 answers because of this plus and minus. Notice how one's always minus, one's always plus, but they're going to be the same, just one's plus, one's minus. This is how they simplified it, so that's what you need to do when you're looking for it. And again, it's only going to have one answer. So try them out.